Good afternoon from a cloudy and blustery North Fort Worth in Boswell. The Lake Belton Broncos take on your Arlington Colts. The pregame show presented by Chapman Cornelius comes up right after this. But you are tuning in to Colt Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the home of the Boswell Pioneers. Zach Arnold on the call until Pops is able to get to the parking lot for what is going to be game 2 for Lake Belton, game number 1 for your Arlington Colts. Lake Belton just took down the number 15 team in the state of Texas, the team that Arlington has to face in game 2 of their doubleheader, taking care of business against the Pioneers, I believe, by a score of 10-4, but we were in the midst of setting up, so I may be mistaken on some of those details. I ask for your patience as we continue the setup process here. Coach Chris Peacock and Coach Brian Womack have met at home plate, and it is time to present the starters for both teams. The pregame show is presented by Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc., a family-owned business with a team of professionals who have served the Arlington area for over 50 years. Don't let insurance be a headache. Chapman Cornelius can help you create a custom insurance plan tailored to your small business's needs and budget. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346 or go to www.chapman-cornelius.com. Arlington won the coin flip, and they will be the home team in this afternoon's game against a Lake Belton Broncos team that has not lost a game yet and ranked number 7 in Region 2 at the 5A level down a little bit south of the Waco area. Arlington debuted these new jerseys last week during the Doolin tournament, and they have brought them back. It's their black and green pinstripes against some gray pinstripes with red pinstripe piping and red numbering for the Lake Belton Broncos. Defensively for your Arlington Colts at first base is going to be Matthew Wynn. At second base, Hayden White. At third base in the hot corner, Danny Bustamante. Mason Hensley will be the shortstop. Sam Harper is in left, Gannon Howard's in center, and Dominic Trillo will get the start in right field and will be DH'd for by Jeremiah Taylor. Behind the plate is Axel Alvarado, and on the mound, senior number 18, London Prater. Bryce Davis leads things off playing second base for the Broncos here in what is game number 2 for them. Cameron Bartz will bat second and play center field. Caden Ward will play first base. Cooper Meese will clean up at the DH spot. RJ Hunt, the shortstop, bats fifth. He'll be followed by Braxton Cope, the starting pitcher today. Rhodey Smith in left field, bats seventh. Cole Mikolas will bat eighth, and Brent Thompson at third base will round out the order for Lake Belton. Logistics have been taken care of. Everything is in order. And we are ready for first pitch, more or less, here at the home of the Boswell Pioneers. I'm still filling in my starting lineup and defensive alignment as we go, but we appreciate you tuning in to this game nonetheless. It's the Drew Medford Memorial Tournament, which always features some very, very solid ball clubs. Arlington has participated in it for several years in a row. This will be day one, game one for them. Day two features a couple of familiar foes. We will get to that throughout the course of the broadcast. The London Prater delivers ball one to Bryce Davis, and we are underway in Fort Worth. And that one is too far inside. Count resets, and a man will lead off on a hit by pitch. Not exactly the ideal way to start things off, as Prater will now have to pitch out of the stretch, and the leadoff man is aboard in the form of Davis. And it'll take us to Cameron Bartz, center fielder number 8. First pitch swinging, and he'll foul that one away. Stepping back into the batter's box. Righty looks over his shoulder. That one will get away from Alvarado, far enough for the pass ball to move the man into scoring position. And just like that, Davis advances on the pass ball. It's 1-1 at the plate, and a man in scoring position. Prater looks at him as Hensley tries to hold him close. Slider is too low for a ball. Two balls and a strike now on this cloudy and overcast day. Temperature in the 60s, but expected to drop into the 50s by the time the sun goes down for game 2 against Boswell. 2-1 is ripped back up the middle. That's a base hit, and that's an RBI. Davis is going to be rounding third. It's an RBI single. And Lake Belton has jumped out to a 1-0 lead on just 2 batters. That'll take us to Caden Ward, first baseman, number 21. Runner goes, strike is called, the throw down to second, not in time. Some aggressive base running as Bartz gets the stolen base. Was a good throw by Axel, just a little bit late. A good lead by Bartz. And Lake Belton has a man in scoring position again. Too far inside for ball number 1. Glance of second. And time will get called at the plate. London Prater with a long black sleeve on his left arm there, but throws right-handed. Oh, it's on both sides. But that one is too far inside. 3 batters faced, 2 hit by pitches, and that will prompt a very early mound visit from Coach Heath Crosno. Prater delivering his pitches too far inside, possibly getting a little bit distracted by the runners that are on the base paths. And there's 2 men on and nobody out for the designated hitter, cleanup hitter, Cooper Mees. play is signaled. As the infield on the right-hand side, Matthew Wynn anyway, playing on the lip of the grass. As ball one is delivered outside of the zone. First time, I believe, Prater's seeing a lefty hitter in the lineup so far. And the bunt is squared up for, but contact goes wide for strike number one. An early 1-0 ball game here, as Prater trying to keep it that way. And he'll check over at second. The runner has to dive back head first. He does. That's Bart's the runner at second. Got the single and a stolen base. Still just a ball and a strike. Bunt squared up for again. And he'll pull back just in time for ball two. Two balls and a strike now. Hensley returns to short. They'll pull back and look at a ball again. Hitter's count now. Does the strategy change any for the designated hitter, Cooper Meese? Prater finally ready. Batter finally ready. Three glances, and the delivery is ball four. And they are loaded on the free pass issued by Prater to Cooper Meese. Shortstop R.J. Hunt is the next man up. The play is at any base now for the Colt defense. Back to the traditional windup, and that is another ball. Continuously going to that right-hand side of the plate, hitting a couple of people for going so far inside. And he'll straighten that one up and get a much-needed strike number one. Much to the delight of the Arlington faithful. That slider goes too low for ball number two. A good idea by Prater, just couldn't quite place it where he wanted to. Two balls and a strike, nowhere to put him, and time will get called. That 2-1 becomes 3-1 as Prater still struggling to find the zone here early in this first inning. Trailing 1-0, has not gotten an out yet. as he faces the 5-spot shortstop, R.J. Hunt. And the strike is called. Hunt was ready to run up the baseline. He'll have to come back for at least one more pitch. Count is full. Prater to the top of the pitcher's mound. Cheering from both dugouts as a very important payoff pitch on the way. Skied up in the air, it's playable. Hensley coming up at it. He'll make the grab for a much-needed F6 shallow out number 1. And the bases will stay loaded. 1 down on shortstop, flying out to shortstop. And that'll take us to the pitcher of the day, Braxton Cope. Batting for himself as the catcher, being DH for today in the Lake Belton lineup. Ball 1, too low. Prater traditional windup again, and it's going to fall into the turf, but Alvarado will corral it. You can see on Zap View how deep this backstop is. If it gets away from Alvarado, that is run number 2. 2-0, 1 out here. The encouragement from the Colt dugout. 1 pitch and you're out of it. Swing and a miss for a strike. Good off speed there by Prater, getting his man to miss. Swing and a miss again. That is strike number 2. Prater finding the zone and finding the type of pitch he wants after struggling the bases loaded here in this top of the first inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Traditional wind up home in play to second base. And they're only going to get the force, and a second run will come across. White thought about it and thought better of it. And they will get the man at first base, but a second run will plate. 2 down, but 2 across early in this ball game for Lake Belton. First pitch is too low to the next batter. Brody Smith, the left fielder. And Prater finds the zone there to even the count at a ball and a strike. Special thanks to our friends at John Wade Roofing for helping provide the Zap View that you see here on Zach Arnold Productions today. Off speed, nasty pitch, bottoms out underneath for strike 2. John Wade Roofing made a special contribution to help make sure that both Arlington and Bowie get adequate coverage this season. We're very thankful for their extra support on top of everything else they do for Zap. This one's going to carry him away from Alvarado, and the wild pitch is going to score another run. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 3 runs across for the Broncos. Axel Alvarado trying to make a name for himself behind the plate. Jeremiah Taylor DHing today, as the 2-2 is hit into foul territory. Matthew Wynn and Hayden White both covering it, and White will make the grab in fair territory. That is going to be an F4 for those of you that keep a scorebook at home. But that is going to finally get Arlington out of the inning, but not before Lake Belton takes advantage and plates 3. We're headed to the bottom of the first. It's the Broncos 3 and the Colts coming up to the plate. This is Colt Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. Taqueria Taco Express is now the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions. They feature 3 convenient locations, including 2 in Arlington and the original site on the Grand Prairie border at I-20 in Great Southwest. Their Taco Tuesday special includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Made from scratch with authentic recipes, you can place single or bulk orders online by going to taqueriatacoexpress.com.
If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Eka Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Eka features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Eka at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
Welcome back to Boswell High School, home of the Pioneers and host of the Drew Medford Memorial. Lake Belton jumped out to an early 3-0 advantage, but Arlington hasn't even had a chance at the plate. And even though he's been here for a few minutes, he hasn't had a chance to put on the headset just because he's been busy getting caught up. Joining me here in the bottom of the frame and for the rest of the afternoon and the evening, it's my Pops, Doug. Pops, it's good to have you here in North Fort Worth. I know it was a heck of a drive, but it's glad to have the whole family together.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's kind of a cloudy day here in Boswell, Texas, northwest side of the Metroplex, but I am glad to be here after, like you said, a long drive from Arlington Sam Houston High School, where I do my 9 to 5, to get here. Arlington will be leading off this half of the inning. Bustamante playing third base this afternoon, leading off. Harper on deck, Matthew Wynn in the hole. Braxton Cope on the mound for Lake Belton. 1-0 pitch. Now that one down in the proverbial dirt. Here's it's an all AstroTurf infield. Ball 2. The leadoff batter Bustamante.
Andrew Ramos is his battery mate. He's being DH'd for. We'll only be seeing time defensively. And a good eye by Bustamante. Leading things off. Trying to find his way aboard. And that 3-1 will be fired right in there for strike.
Bustamante taking all the way on that, forcing Braxton Cope to come into the plate. He's missed inside, outside, and low. 3-1 pitch.
And he'll foul that one away behind him towards our camera. I hope nobody's over there. I think that went over the press box. I probably had nothing to worry about. So a full count now to the leadoff man. This one sharply hit to left field past the third baseman Thompson. That's a leadoff base hit for Busta.
That ball was sharply hit right in between Brent Thompson at third base and R.J. Hunt at short. Perfectly placed hit, and a leadoff batter gets on base for the Colts.
Yeah, after the single hit by pitch that happened to start that first inning, it's good to have some base runners of your own. That'll put Ward over on first base covering the runner. And it'll be Sam Harper trying to small ball him over, squares up for the bunt and pulls back.
Harper with a good eye on that one as it was high and in about chin high and inside on that particular pitch from Cope. 1-0 pitch, again high for ball 2. Coach Womack down at third base, going through his series of signs, communicating with Busta over at first base, and his man at bat, Harper.
Got a little bit of a hitter's count here. And he will pull back for ball number 3.
Cope having difficulty finding the strike zone here in his first inning of work for the Lake Belton team. Broncos.
The Lake Belton Broncos. Just got the word lake across the chest. And Harper squares to bunt, pulls away, and looks at a strike.
We have a battle between the Broncos and the Colts here in this first game of the Drew Medford tournament.
We do indeed. The LB for their Lake Belton is the same configuration as Long Beach State. For those of you that enjoy watching March Madness, Long Beach State makes it quite often. 3-1 is going to be too far inside, and Harper will take the free pass on the base on balls. 2 aboard, nobody out for Matthew Wynn. And London Prater maybe be able to bat for his own cause, for his own sake. With 2 men on and nobody out here. Wynn is committed to go play at Division III Austin College at the conclusion of this year, one of several next level commits for the Arlington Colts. That pitch is too high for a ball. 1-0 the count to Matthew Wynn. Ward is at first base, Davis is at second, Thompson's at third, Hunt is at short, Smith in left, Bart's in center, and Nicholas in right as a strike is delivered there. One and one at the plate to Win. Looks like he's squaring up to hit it all the way. Busto with a modest lead from second, now advances as that curveball drops in for a called strike. Good off-speed pitch that Wynn just couldn't quite time up on there. Patty iced the cheers from the Arlington dugout as he'll put this one in play right to third base. The throw to second is in time. The throw to first is also in time. A 5-4-3 double play will put Bustamante at third and 2 away.
Well executed double play by the Broncos there. The ball sharply hit the third base, and he had plenty of time to get it to his relay at second and on to first base for that double play. It was a fun call for the umpire out in the field. I used to umpire baseball. You get a really close call at first base, like, and you really punch them out. Make it real emphatic. Make sure all the fans know that you saw the play clearly. Quickly, 2 outs for the Colts here.
Prater will take a look at a strike, and that's got to be a confidence boost for the man on the mound, too, in Pope, as he sees his defense back him up.
He's had some trouble with the strike zone like he did there. That one bounced in the dirt in the left-hand batter's box. Kept it in front of him, so Bustamante was not able to advance. But, yeah, to have a defense behind you when you're struggling to get out of the gate here is a good scenario for the pitcher.
Tips that one into the glove. Is a ball and 2 strikes to Prater. From 2 on and nobody out to 2 outs and at risk of not being able to bring that man home. One play changes the sequence of the inning as the called strike 3 hits the corner and gets the backwards K, and Cope is out of the inning. So Arlington puts a couple of men aboard, puts a couple in scoring position, but cannot bring them home. We're through 1 inning. It's 3-0 in favor of Lake Belton. You're tuning in to High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing, Arlington's favorite roofer since 1982.
Zap wants to thank the following people who helped make our tournament coverage possible. Our meal sponsors, Kristen Crocker, Nathan Gutierrez, Gloria Weber, the Madden family, the Hensley family, the Laney family, Bill and Betsy Starnes, and Armando Dercol. And our lodging sponsors, Holly Hensley Life Insurance, the PDA Advocacy Group, Lynn Wynn, Jake and Sharon Damon, the Hammond family, Patty Bustamante, and Bella and Sam Howard. A special thanks to my wife Edna, whose constant support makes all of this possible. If you appreciate our tournament coverage, please consider sending a Venmo tip to the username @ZachTheVoice and list the name of the broadcaster you want to tip in the memo.
Hey, this is John Wade Jr., Colt Football 97, class of 98. And the next time you have a roofing issue, be sure and call Arlington's favorite roofer, John Wade Roofing. Look us up on the internet at johnwaderoofing.com.
End of the first inning as we head to the top of the second. It'll be Cole Miklas leading things off for Lake Belton.
London Prater with his second inning of work on the mound as the Broncos put 3 on the board with a couple of hit batters and other events in that top of the first inning. But here we go with Miklas leading off, Thomason, the third baseman, on deck, and then back to the top of the order with Bryce Davis. First pitch from Prater is a called strike 1 on the fastball. Prater set on the mound, gets in the wind. Curveball floats a little bit outside for ball 1. Zach, a fun little fact about the Lake Belton Broncos. Their head coach and I used to work together at Mansfield Summit High School. Coach Chris Peacock. Ball's fouled off. Count runs to 1 and 2.
Yeah, I was going to let you bring that up because he
Yeah.
was your cohort, but it's always fun to make those types of connections, especially on a place as gentlemanly as the baseball diamond.
Yeah, we did. We sent an email out ahead of the tournament season, and Coach Peacock wrote back and goes, "Is this the same Doug Arnold that used to coach at, or play work at Mansfield Summit?" And Peacock was the head baseball coach at Summit at the time. We worked together, and then he moved on, and lo and behold, our worlds come back together. That curveball's in the dirt. Count runs to 2 balls, 2 strikes on the first batter of this second inning, Cole Miklas, the right fielder for the Broncos today.
Showing you the other 2 sequences that ended that previous inning just for your score sheet there, Pops. Little production notes that we make throughout the ball game sometimes, make sure everybody's on the proverbial and physical same page.
That 2-2 pitch is a little bit low and inside for ball 3. Count runs full for the leadoff batter, Miklas.
Don and Nipper tuning in as always in the chat saying kick 'em Colts. Thanks so much for representing from the southern Mississippi area.
Payoff pitch from Prater. Swung on and fouled to the netting on the left side towards the third base dugout.
So I was a little worried about how blustery it was going to be, but it seems to have leveled out a little bit, knock on wood. It's turning into a very lovely late afternoon, early evening here.
Yeah. Prater set for another 3-2 pitch. And outside, puts him aboard.
Something Arlington struggled with in the previous inning was just people getting aboard, whether it was a hit by a pitch or a walk or a fielder's choice. There's 3 runs across, but only 1 hit.
You win a hold the runner close at first base. As Brent Thompson steps into the batter's box. His first appearance this afternoon. Batting in the number 9 spot for the Lake Belton Broncos. He squares the bunt and then pulls back, throw down to first base, and it gets away at first. In comes the right fielder, Dominic Trio. Gets the ball in time and is able to hold Miklas at first. No harm done.
That's good defense. That's just good awareness of the game and the situation there by Trio. He understood that throwdown could be potentially dangerous and was closing in just in case. That's something that you do during practice, and it pays off there.
Thomason steps back in with a 1-ball count on him.
325 to the corners, 375 to left and right center, 390 to straightaway center field here at Boswell.
1-0 pitch from Prater. Squared a bunted again, bunted right back to Prater. Prater's going to catch the ball, send it over to first base to win for the out, and the sacrifice works perfectly as the runner Miklas gets down to second safely on the sacrifice. 1 out in the inning now.
1-3 sack BU for those of you that care about those types of things. But a good play by Prater. He thought about turning for second and elects not to. So there's 1 away now for the top of the order in Bryce Davis, who was hit by a pitch on Prater's
struggles to find the middle of the strike zone. He was attacking that right-hand side and was attacking it a little too much sometimes.
Prater's first pitch is a curveball that's in there for a called strike one to Bryce Davis. Hensley keeping the runner, Miklas, close out there at second base. White in his normal position at second. One pitch. Curveball hangs high that time. 1 ball, 1 strike to Davis.
And the placement of his pitches, when they're on, and when they're off, they're tailing too far to the right-hand side of the plate and strike zone.
Takes a look at the runner at second. Upset. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and hit high and behind us over the first base fence.
I hear the thud on the concrete. Luckily, it's not the concrete that's close to the parking lot. We parked relatively close, but I would expect not close enough for any damage to be done.
1 balls and 2 strikes on the batter Davis. Top of the order, Cameron Bartz on deck. Prater again takes a look at his runner at second. And the 1-2 delivery. Curveball that's swung on and batted to the foul territory behind the first base dugout. As Davis hangs in there. Count will stay 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, a little bit late on the offering there. Just got a piece of it, sent it out of play. Prater's placement is better, but there's contact being made. Hoping for a strikeout here.
Another 1-2 delivery on the way from Prater. Hensley playing cat and mouse out at second base. And that one's in the dirt and gets away from Axel Alvarado. Miklas will stroll into third base on the pass ball. That curveball broke a little bit too far into the ground in front of the plate and bounced past Alvarado.
And he didn't square up for it. He was anticipating that it would go into the glove first, and it didn't. And we mentioned in the first inning that if something gets behind him, it's an extra 90 feet, and that is exactly what happened there.
2-2 delivery is hit sharply into center field for a base hit. Yet another run will be plated for the Broncos here. Bryce Davis hangs in there and wins that battle between pitcher and batter and gets a single to first base.
This will come in to score. A run off of the base on balls, sacrifice, pass ball, and a single. The ultimate small ball, and it is the 4th run of the game for the Broncos.
Well, and it shows you, you put that lead runner on like that with a free pass, it'll often come back and bite you. First pitch is bunted back to Prater. Bartz gets down to first base. The ball is thrown there. Matthew Wynn able to haul it in for the out, but not before Davis is pushed over to second base on the sack.
Another well laid down 1-3 as Bustamante holds up the hook'em horns symbol to indicate 2 away for the first baseman, Caden Ward.
Ward was hit by pitch in his first at bat this evening that led to part of that 3-run inning for the Broncos. Prater takes a look at the new runner at second base in Davis and comes home. Curveball is in there for a called strike 1.
And like I said, when he's on, he's on. That one was perfectly placed and crossed up the batter. Problem is, a couple of them are just meatballs that are sitting in the middle of the zone, or they're off of the zone, and batters are laying off of it.
No 1 pitch from Prater. And the batter called time.
Ooh.
A little bit late. Looked like Prater had started his windup. Nonetheless, Prater able to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, that's got to be awkward for your
Yeah.
pitching motion, though. He probably should have just followed through so that he doesn't do anything to his oblique.
Ward with the 0-1 count. Davis out at second base. 2 outs in the inning. Raiders pitch is hit sharply to second base. Hensley able to gobble it up, throw it across the diamond to win for the 3rd out of the inning, and the Colts are finally out and back to the dugout. The 6-3 out ends the inning. The Broncos do pick up another run here. It's 4-0.
I was about to say, yeah,
Sorry about that.
No, I was just about to say the same thing. They escape the situation a little bit better than they did in the previous inning, but they do find themselves in a little bit deeper of a hole. It is 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 2nd. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Hey, Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
Welcome back to the bottom of the 2nd inning. We noticed the typo on the scoreboard during the break, so we appreciate your patience. Things were a little rushed in getting the setup put together, but we are here nonetheless. And Arlington got a base hit and got some men in scoring position last inning, but unfortunately a double play halted their momentum. We'll see what the heart of the order is capable of doing here.
Coming up in the bottom of the 2nd inning for your Colts, Mason Hensley will be leading off. Jeremiah Taylor is on deck. Axel Alvarado in the hole for the Colts. 1-2-3. First pitch is a called strike 1 at the knees to Mason Hensley from the 2nd inning of work from Braxton Cope for the Lake Belton Broncos. Actually, there was a curveball. It's hit sharply to outfield. Diving is Miklas, and he misses the ball and goes all the way to the fence, but he's able to retrieve and get the center fielder, Bartz, gets over and gets the ball back in a very quick fashion and holds the leadoff runner, Mason Hensley, to only a long single.
Sharply hit ball to right field, though. And you're right, Miklas with a diving attempt couldn't corral it, but Bartz with good defensive coverage there to clean up the proverbial mess.
That'll bring up Jeremiah Taylor, today's designated hitter. Normally the catcher, he squares the bunt, pulls it back, and the ball is low and inside for ball 1. Taylor usually the catcher for the Colts this afternoon. Axel Alvarado taking the duties this afternoon and keep Jeremiah's bat in the order. Jeremiah batting in the number 6 spot today in this first ball game of the Drew Medford tournament. Next pitch is inside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes.
And see,
Jeremiah Taylor.
It's so tough because as a coach, you want to play the small ball to get a man in scoring position, but Jeremiah Taylor has such speed that any kind of contact, he has an opportunity to get to the base.
Hensley getting a good leadoff and get some attention from the pitcher, Braxton Cole. Throw over to first base and courtesy tag applied, but Hensley back in plenty of time. Cope comes set on the mound. Bunt attempt squared. Jeremiah Taylor pulls back, and the ball is called for a ball. 3 balls, no strikes to Jeremiah Taylor. Now he's most likely going to be watching this one all the way, forcing Cope to try to come into the plate. He does square to bunt, but he pulls it back, and it is a called strike. 3 balls and 1 strike to Taylor. Now we'll see Taylor square for another bunt again, most likely, as the Colts look to play small ball here.
And see, I appreciate the small ball, but we also saw Taylor hit a triple to right center against Heath, so we know he's got the bat for it, too.
The 3-1 squares the bunt. He bunts it to the first baseman. Hensley will make it. Taylor's going to get there safely.
What a play! Hit into no man's land between pitcher and first, and the speedster makes it on the infield single.
Like you were saying, infield hit for Taylor on that one, and his speed as he pushed that ball between Cope and Ward had to play it, and then there was nobody covering first base. Taylor's able to leg it out, and we have 2 runners aboard with nobody out instead of the force out on the sack. And Axel Alvarado steps to the plate for his first at bat this afternoon. He looks to square to bunt. Caden Ward comes all the way into the,
He-
even with the pitcher
he
mound.
charged that baseline.
Axel pulls back, and it's ball one. Axel Alvarado, the catcher for the Colts this afternoon in this first ball game.
And we'll probably see JT behind the plate for the game against Boswell this evening. They are the host school.
1-0 pitch is laid down back to the pitcher. He throws to third wide for the force, and it goes into left field. Here comes Hensley around the base. He's going to score. The throw is into third base, and they drop it there as Taylor is in safely.
That's going to be an E1 on Cope as it pulled Thompson off the bag and went into left field. Alvarado will reach second on that, and a courtesy runner will come in. And Arlington plates their first run of the ball game on the error. That is a taco tally. All first runs scored by the Colts is the taco tally. They are presented by our friends at Taqueria Taco Express this season. Visit any of their 4 locations on Taco Tuesday for their $10 meal special.
Nobody out in the inning. Colts at second and third. 1 run across. In steps Gannon Howard, who popped one over the left field fence for a dinger the other day in Midlow. He hacks at the first pitch here and fouls it back into the netting for strike 1. Mason Hensley plates for the Colts to score the first run. Taylor at third. Axel Alvarado at second, reaching on a single and then the E1.
Levy has a courtesy runner, Pops. I want to say that's number 6, Colin Murphy, running at second base.
Murphy's been very active, running in specialty situations. The 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled back into the netting behind the plate.
4-1 your score. 2 men in scoring position and nobody out for Arlington here.
Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Gannon Howard, center fielder for the Colts in his first appearance today. 1-2 pitch, a curveball that he holds up on, and it calls it a tipped ball into the catcher's mitt for strike 3.
That is unfortunate. That'll count as the second strikeout of the day for Cope. And there's 1 down.
1 down, Hayden White stepping in for his first at bat with 2 runners in scoring position and only 1 out in the inning. White playing second base for the Colts today. Fastball in there for strike 1. Ramos, the catcher for the Broncos, did a good job hanging on to that pitch. This curveball is down in the dirt and out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike to Hayden White.
Hand was held up there by Hayden White with Jeremiah Taylor about 80 feet away after his leadoff. Any kind of carom gives Arlington a second run.
The 1-1 pitch down low, and it gets away from Ramos, but he snags it.
He backhanded it.
He snagged it before it got away from him. Good athletic catcher here for the Lake Belton Broncos. Catching the foul tip and hanging on to it, and then keeping that one and keeping Jeremiah Taylor at third base, as he absolutely had to snag that one. This one swung to the right side and foul over the first base dugout. Count runs even, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Hayden White.
Danny Bustamante got a single in his last at-bat, hoping to find an at-bat here.
This curveball goes outside again, way over into the left batter's box.
But again, a good grab by Ramos. He knows the situation, and he is trying to keep the score what it is.
Count runs full now. Braxton Cope looks for the sign, the wind, and the payoff pitch. It hits Hayden White in the back. A little bit too far inside, and he'll take up position at first base. The bases are loaded for Danny Bustamante. The other 2 runners stay at their positions as a hit by pitch is a dead ball situation. So Jeremiah Taylor stays at third, Murphy at second, and Hayden White at first, and that brings up Bustamante, who you mentioned earlier did have a base hit in his first at bat. It'll be a great time for one here.
And you know, Pops, what's interesting about this Arlington team is their offense can be a little feast or famine sometimes, and they have feasted with multiple runs in an inning several times early this season.
First pitch to Bustamante is outside for ball 1.
They had a 6-run inning against Midlothian en route to a 6-3 win. They had an 8-run inning against Rowlett en route to a 9-2 win.
Cope's 1-0 pitch is down the middle that time for a called strike 1. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike to Bustamante.
And you know, we don't need a home run here. We just need contact. If you get it into right field, Taylor is fast enough to bring in that second run.
1-1 pitch from Cope. Swung on and fouled to the left side. Actually back behind us here.
Yeah.
Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Busta.
And he knows how to battle. Just got to wait for the pitch he wants.
Busta takes a little walk around, steps back, and gets settled into the right-hand batter's box. The 1-2 pitch from Cope. Curveball that misses outside, ball 2.
And you can see the slump of Cope's shoulders. He thought he got him. That was a good eye by Busta.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Danny Bustamante, the leadoff batter. Sam Harper on deck for the Colts. That one's outside and skitters away from Ramos, but not far enough for Taylor to come in. Count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Little countdown on the scoreboard, 3, 2, 1 with 1 out here and nowhere to put him.
Cope looks in for his sign. The payoff pitch. Swung on and hit up the middle, but it's going to be right to the shortstop. He relays to first for the out, and they get out of the inning unscathed.
Well, not entirely.
It could have been a whole lot more.
It could have been more. Another unfortunate GDP will prevent further damage, but Arlington does plate their first run here in the bottom of the second inning. That'll take us to the third. Fans, the third inning is presented by our friends at Ika Signs, located in the heart of Arlington. They offer same-day production on certain rush orders and offer a wide catalog of custom print materials. Call 817-617-2229 to find out how Ika Signs can help your brand's visibility. We'll be right back with high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Rami Pools, LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Rami Pools, LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
PDA Advocacy Group would like to remind you that autism is a wide spectrum of neurological differences and it's on the rise, now affecting 1 in 36 Americans and more cases found in males. Those with autism have trouble with social interactions, communication, and can engage in repetitive or self-harming behaviors. While the causes of autism are still being researched, we can begin to learn more by visiting nationalautismassociation.org.
To the third inning we go. Arlington got a run across thanks to the E1, but they loaded them up and left them stranded on the second double play in as many innings. Just a bunch of near misses. If that ball goes more to the left, away from where the shortstop's playing, that's at least a run, possibly 2 there, Pops. Good job by the Lake Belton defense.
Yeah, R.J. Hunt, the shortstop for the Broncos, was playing close to second base, up the middle, and that's exactly where that ball was hit to him. It was sharply hit, could have gone into center field, but the opposing player was in the perfect spot.
Prater's back out for another inning of work, and he'll deliver a ball outside to the leadoff man, cleanup hitter Cooper Mees, who drew a walk in his last at-bat. He'll take a look at strike 1 here. It's very quickly 1-1 after that fastball. Time will get called as number 6 digs back into the lefty batter's box. And that one will chop foul. Fans, I don't know if you heard that little buzzing noise, but we've got some honeybees hanging out around the dugout, and one of them actually landed on our crowd ambient mic.
Oh, how funny.
And made
I heard it.
made a little buzzing noise. So that it's not a equipment error as ball number 2 gets issued. Usually buzz and static of that type means that something's wrong with our equipment. Nope, just means that we're outdoors today. Swing and a miss, and Prater gets his first strikeout of the afternoon.
Good work there by Prater. Prater seems to be pitching a little bit faster today, Zach. The last couple times we've seen him come out, he takes a long time between pitches.
He's got a little pep in his step today.
Yeah, he's picked up his speed in between pitches.
Trouble is, it's not doing a whole lot for his placement as this ball goes outside to R.J. Hunt. Flew out to his shortstop counterpart, Hensley, his last at-bat. This one's hit sharply to left field. Harper is on his horse, and he's not going to get there. That's going to bounce into fair territory. Hunt is rounding first. The throw to second is going to be cut off by Hensley. It's a straight-up double for R.J. Hunt to left field.
Harper, a speedy runner there, had difficulty catching up to that one as it was placed between him and the line out there in left field. Runner Hunt was even speedier as he stands up into second base.
That'll take us to the pitcher, Braxton Cope. Grounded out to second base, but drew in a run since it was a fielder's choice situation. So he does have an RBI on the day, one of the 4 runs driven in by the Broncos. Hunt in scoring position, taking a shortstop's length leadoff as ball 1 is issued outside.
Yeah, Hensley is playing close over there to second base, leaving a huge hole between him and Busta at third base.
Sharply hit to left field. That's going to be a base hit. Coach Peacock is going to hold up the runner at third, and it'll put men on the corners for the Broncos on that single to left by the pitcher, Cope. And we'll see if he gets a courtesy runner. Looks like he'll run for himself. Do not see anybody over there. So it's two men on and nobody out. Here for the left fielder, Rhodey Smith. Pops, I mentioned this at the top of the broadcast. Lake Belton has not lost a game yet. They've had 2 ties, but they are ranked number 7 in Region 2 for all 5A teams in the state of Texas. So they are on the rise as strike 1 gets looked at here. And it doesn't get any easier for Arlington as they play the number 15 6A team in the state in Boswell immediately after this. Off speed, hit shallow, caught, and the runners will have to retreat. Good play there by Hayden White. Back-to-back F4s for Rhodey Smith. And there is 2 away now. That strikeout proving really big now as the sacrifice fly has been eliminated on that catch.
You know, you were talking about the caliber of the opponents in this Drew Medford tournament today. That's how you sharpen your team.
Runner goes. The throw to second is going to be caromed by Hensley, but he'll keep it in the infield, which will keep the runner where he is. But Cope moves into scoring position on the stolen base. I want to say that is the 2nd stolen base of the day. As Lake Belton very aggressive on the base paths. 0-1 at the plate, ripped to center field. Gannon Howard going to have to retreat, and he will make the grab for the F8. And Mikolas with solid contact, but unable to bring the runners home. And for the first time in this ball game, Lake Belton comes up empty. They get a couple into scoring position, but cannot bring them home. We'll see what Arlington can do in their half inning. You're watching High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Ika Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, Ika can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ikasigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's ikasigns.com/shop. Ika Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana. Aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Top of the order for Arlington in the bottom of the 3rd. Bustamante grounded into the double play, unfortunately, but it'll be 2-3-4 in the lineup. Sam Harper leading things off, Matthew Wynn on deck, and the pitcher of the day, London Prater, in the hole. But Pops Prater is one of 2 Arlington players that has sent the ball over the left field fence during tournament action, so even though he's on the mound, you shouldn't discredit his bat.
Absolutely, he's got some good power. He and Gannon Howard have the 2 dingers for the Colts so far this season.
That one's going to be fouled straight back by Harper. Drew a walk in his first at-bat. Couple of pinstripe action today as Arlington brings back their black and green pinstripes as Lake Belton with just the word lake in cursive red across the chest with gray and red piping pinstripes. Strike is called to Harper. He disagrees with it.
Kind of shook his head a little bit and went, okay.
If you say so.
1-2 pitch.
Cope with the off speeder on the outside corner, trying to frame it was Ramos. Cannot convince Blue that that is a strike, and it'll be 2-2. Harper gets a piece of that one, but it does not stay in fair play, and it'll stay 1-2. 2-2 the count, actually. Even Steven is full as that one gets up at the neck of Sam Harper.
You may be able to see on the video feed, Cameron Bartz in center field is shaded towards left field. Big gap in right center field.
Doesn't matter as Harper will draw another free pass. It would have been ball 4, but it's going to be a hit by pitch as it goes way too far inside. And both pitchers, Cope and Frater, having a little bit of trouble with that right-hand side of the strike zone. All 4 hit by pitches of the day have been on that inside area, and it looks like they're going to tell Harper to stay put. That he didn't make a move to avoid the contact.
They're going to talk to the first. Yeah,
they'll have a conference because it looked like.
But he did. I thought he was checking a swing. Actually,
Are they suggesting that he made contact and it's a foul?
Possibly.
Because he did make an effort. He did make
Yeah.
a move to try to avoid the contact.
The ball was inside, and he made a move, and his bat moved as he tried to step back away. Umpires are conferring.
They will give him first base.
Okay. Yeah, he did hit by pitch, so I don't have to change my score sheet. Colts get that
And
leadoff
the
runner on.
Leadoff man will reach again for the Colts. It's happened in all 3 innings. After Hensley led things off with a single in the previous inning and Bustamante led things off with a single in the first.
So what we'd be looking for here is some timely hitting to bring some of these runners around.
What we'd be avoiding is another double play.
That too.
Wynn puts this one in play, headed for right center field. Both men converging. One of them's got to make the call, and eventually Mikolas will make the grab for the F9 out in right field.
Difficult play out there for Mikolas as the wind is pushing the ball that way. He did a good job zeroing in on it and hauling that one in, despite the windy conditions.
Yeah, the breeze has picked up a little bit here. Creates swirling winds, and it'll create a one-on, one-out situation for the pitcher, London Prater. First pitch to him, he's headed for center field, charging on his horses, Bartz. And does he make the grab? No, he doesn't.
The ball came out.
No, first they're saying safe, and then they're saying out.
The ball came out of the man's glove.
First, it was a safe signal from the field umpire. Then he signals out. There are 2 base runners standing on first base as Coach Womack asks for an explanation. The field umpire signaled safe, but what he was signaling was something that got kicked up in the air that was not the ball. So Bartz does make the grab for the F8, and there are 2 flyouts back-to-back that puts 2 away for Mason Hensley. Bartz is a little bit shaken up out there in center field after a charging, outstretched grab to try to make that second out. He does, and it'll be a called strike one at the plate to Hensley. Runner goes. Hit and run. Hensley headed for left field. Is going to drop in for a base hit. It'll count as just a single as Smith was in the right place defensively, but it's a 2-for-2 afternoon for Mason Hensley. A single to right and now a single to left.
Good job by Hensley, stringing 2 hits in his 2 appearances today. Putting a runner out there in scoring position now.
4th hit of the day for Arlington. Unfortunately, there's only 1 run to show for it. 4 runs across on 4 hits for Lake Belton so far.
JT up at bat, got a single in his first at bat. If he can get one here, it might plate another run.
That was a very nice square up that was in no man's land between pitcher and first base, and he beat out the first baseman Ward on the race to the bag. That one's in at the knees for a called strike number 1. Quick glance of second, pitch home. JT puts this one in play, and it'll hook out of play. Solid contact, just did not quite have the timing of the swing right to put it down that right field line. It's 0-2. Harper at second, Hensley at first. 0-2 at the plate to JT. Next pitch from Cope. Off speed, swung on, and swung through. JT is retired, and the Colts leave 2 stranded. The leadoff man has reached all 3 times, but Arlington only has 1 run to show for it. We're through 3 complete, headed to the 4th, and it is Lake Belton 4, Arlington 1. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com. Looking for the most unique gift for your student or athlete? Local Legends Figures has you covered. The custom 6-inch figures are designed with you and your legend in mind. They even immortalize yours truly with a custom, never-before-used model to create a Zach the Voice figure for my 30th birthday. Huge thanks to our friends at Local Legends Figures. See pricing and place orders at locallegendsfigures.com.
Fans, welcome back to live action here as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Lake Belton 4, Arlington 1. Lake Belton will be sending their 9-1-2 batters to the plate this inning. Brent Thomason, third baseman, will be leading off. Bryce Davis, second baseman, in the on deck circle. And Cameron Bartz, the left fielder, in the hole to begin this top of the 4th. London Prater will be on for his 4th inning of work this afternoon. Colts are getting some opportunities with runners on base and just not getting the right contact with the bat to bring him in. Prater did have a clean sheet, if we were the soccer term. First pitch to him is a called strike 1. No runs across the board in the 3rd inning, so we're looking for him to hopefully continue to grow stronger this afternoon. The 0-1 pitch swung on and hit, skied into center field. Gannon floats under it, comes in a little bit, and makes the catch for the F8 to lead off the inning. That'll take us back to the top of the order for the Lake Belton Broncos. Bryce Davis hit by a pitch in his first at bat, a single in his second at bat, but stranded on the base paths.
Scored a run and got an RBI in his previous 2 at-bats.
There's a base hit to left field, right in front of Harper out there. Just a clean base hit right over Bustamonte's head, sharply hit. And he's on base with his second base hit of the day.
Reached base all 3 times, and that's what you want your leadoff man to do. Try to get aboard. That is what Davis does there.
That'll bring up Cameron Bartz, the left fielder. Got a single and ground out to first base in his last at bat. First pitch is a called strike one. The umpire, it seems like his zone is a little bit low on those called strikes, but he's calling them for both sides.
It's been consistent so far.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like there was one of those similarly called against Jeremiah Taylor during the previous half inning, and similar placement from Prater gets a similar call.
One thing you do look for is consistency in that umpire. Prater takes a look at first base at Davis and throws over there. No tag applied by Matthew Wynn. That's Davis back in plenty of time.
Yeah, Pops, my umpiring tenure was not nearly as long as yours. One YMCA season and one charity softball event. During the charity softball, I know my zone was high, but I was calling them consistently. That was one thing that I was getting the approval of, if you can call it approval, from the players participating.
I'll tell you what, that softball can be brutal.
It can be.
Those people are serious. Volunteer fun play softball is way too serious. 1-1 pitch coming up here from Prater. Swung on and fouled back into the netting behind the plate. On deck batter, Caden Ward retrieves it, puts it in his back pocket. Give it to the plate umpire when he steps into the batter's box. Count runs to 1-2 strikes on Bartz. 1 out in the inning, 1 runner at first. Davis getting a big lead off over there. Wynn holding him on. Throw over to first base, gets away from Wynn, and Davis is going to take off, and he'll make second base standing.
That'll be an errant throw on Prater.
Threw it in the dirt, and Wynn really didn't have much of a chance. Keep that one out.
He'll advance on the E1.
Count stays 1-2 on to the batter Bartz. Now a runner at second base. Prater gets back on the pitch rubber. And the pitch home, swung on and hit to left center where nobody is. Gannon Howard on his horse and makes the catch. That looked like it was headed for the gap, but Gannon Howard shows his speed out there and tracks that one down for the second out of the inning.
That's a big catch and a big moment. Howard showing why he plays center field, being able to cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time. 2 away.
Absolutely. That'll bring up Caden Ward, first baseman for the Broncos this afternoon.
Cameron Bartz retired, Caden Ward up. They're back to back, so it's easy to quickly glance at your sheet and see those 2 names together.
First pitch to him is outside for ball 1.
Had to have been because it was low enough to be called a strike.
Ward hit by a pitch and grounded out to short his first 2 at-bats this afternoon. 2 outs here. Runner at second base in Davis. It's home.
Must have been inside this time.
Must have been inside. We have a hard time from our vantage points telling inside, outside. You fans watching on the TV have a better vantage point. Our camera is away from the broadcasters.
Yeah, we have a wireless transmitter. We're down along the baseline where there's power and space. And then we just set up the camera in a place that's a better vantage point.
So maybe you can tell us in the chat, was it inside or outside? The next pitch, that one's called a strike. Must have hit that outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike on the batter, Caden Ward. Strike up the conversation in the chat. Tell us where you're listening to Colt baseball this afternoon. First game of the Drew Medford tournament.
There's only a few Colt faithful that made the trip to North Fort Worth, so I know some of you are tuning in online.
2-1 pitch is swung on and hit to right field. That's going to drop in front of
No, foul, says the umpire.
We can't see the far right field line down there. It's the job of the home plate umpire to square up on that line and make the decision fair or foul, and he called that one foul. Fortunate for the Colts. High up in the stands that can't see the line either is calling it fair.
I just watched it on the live feed because there's a little bit of a delay, and it was tough to see even on the live feed. So
person who has the most control over that situation calls it foul, and the deuces are wild. Two
There we
balls,
go.
2 strikes, 2 outs.
And the runner stays at second base for now. Prater back on the mound. Jump set. Takes a look at Davis out there at second. The 2-2 delivery home. Swung on a hit right to Bustamante, who snags it, throws it across the diamond to win, and the Colts are out of the inning unscathed.
You know, aside from that 3-run first, it's supposed to be a tie ball game. Instead, it's a 3-run advantage. Fans were headed to the 4th inning stretch. It's presented by Taqueria Taco Express, featuring a wide, authentic menu. Taco Express can solve any Mexican food craving. Order online to collect for free food or get 5 tacos and a large agua fresca on Taco Tuesdays for just $10. Thanks to Taqueria Taco Express, our 4th inning stretch presenters. Taqueria Taco Express is now the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions. They feature 3 convenient locations, including 2 in Arlington and the original site on the Grand Prairie border at I-20 in Great Southwest. Their Taco Tuesday special includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Made from scratch with authentic recipes, you can place single or bulk orders online by going to taqueriatacoexpress.com.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Is back out.
Welcome to the bottom of the 4th inning, as your Colts will be looking to put some runs on the board. London Prater seems to have settled down, and he's held the Broncos scoreless in the last 2 half innings for them. The Colts will be sending the 5, 7, 8 hole hitters to the plate this inning.
5, 7, 8.
Number 5 in the 7th position.
There we go.
8, 9 batters. Axel Alvarado, the catcher, leading off. Gannon Howard, who made a fantastic running catch in center field in the last inning, is in the on-deck circle, and Hayden White in the hole. Braxton Cope on for his 4th inning of work, and that first one skitters away from the catcher, Ramos, ball number 1.
Well, and credit where it's due, Cope has 3 strikeouts on the afternoon, and his defense has turned 2 double plays. And if those double plays aren't turned, it's a much closer ball game.
Absolutely. 1-0 pitch in there for a called strike 1 on Alvarado. Count runs 1-1. Alvarado got on base in his first at bat, but his pinch runner, Murphy, was stranded at second. Curveball misses for ball 2.
Pops, we asked people to join the chat and tell us where they're tuning in from, because I only count about 10 Colt faithful that are here in the stands at Boswell. And JT's dad, Marcus, says, I'm on the way as we speak.
That ball's hit to the shortstop, played perfectly again by R.J. Hunt over to first base. The catch made by Ward there for the first out of the inning. They are really playing the Colts up the middle. Hunt is positioned very close to second base, and that's right where the Colts are hitting to him today. 6-3 putout brings up Gannon Howard. See how close he is over there to first base? He's shaded that way, and he's making perfect play. That's where he's been positioned for those 2
Shaded to
double
second.
plays. Shaded to second. Gannon Howard steps in. He struck out looking his first at bat this afternoon. Thinks about swinging at that first one, but he lays off, but it is called a strike 1 by the home plate umpire. Howard hit that dinger over the left field fence in the game at Midlow last weekend. That ball's high for ball 2.
Yeah, Arlington went 3-2 during that Dulin tournament. Unfortunately, the Saturday morning game that we weren't able to cover was an 8-2 setback against Forney, but the last broadcast that we did was a 6-3 win against the host team.
1-1 pitch is in there for called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gannon Howard. 1-2 delivery, a curveball, curves inside. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The wind and the 2-2 delivery swung on and tipped into the catcher's glove. Ramos hangs on to it, and that's the 2nd strikeout for Howard this afternoon.
He's up there swinging, though. You have to respect that he's up there taking hacks and doing what he can at the plate, and you have to think that given what kind of a swing he's got, as soon as he squares up on it, it's trouble.
That'll bring up Hayden White, who takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Hayden was hit by a pitch in his first appearance and was erased in one of the 2 double plays turned by the Broncos this afternoon. That ball is chin high for ball.
Nope.
Strike 1.
Called strike.
1 ball, 1 strike to Hayden. Pope's 1-1 delivery in there for a called strike 2.
And White knew it. He nodded. He saw where it ended up. He knew that was in the zone, just didn't offer at it.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery. A little bit low and outside for ball 2. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Cope wanted it. Did not get the call.
2 outs in the inning. Nobody on. The 2-2 pitch to White. Swung on and hit up the middle. Davis makes a bouncing catch, recovers, throws to first for the 4-3 out.
It's a quiet 1-2-3 half inning, unfortunately. First time in the ball game that the leadoff man does not get aboard, and it makes the Colts go down quietly. We're through 4 complete. Still some more ball left to play. Let's see what these last few innings have in store. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Ika Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Ika features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Ika at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hear Zach talk about things beyond the realm of sport, catch him with me, Ben Hart, on the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast. For nearly a decade, we've been geeking out on IPC about our favorite nerdy things. We have a back catalog of over 350 episodes diving into sci-fi and fantasy stories like no one else. Find the Intergalactic Peace Coalition at ipcpodcast.podbean.com or download via your favorite podcast app.
To the 5th inning we go here at Boswell High, the home of the Pioneers. Zach Arnold and my pops Doug on the call, and my mom, Patsy, the producer for today's Drew Medford Memorial action. All of us getting some reps in as we get ready for district competition that starts next week. Arlington's district opener is at the Halton Buffaloes, and Pops, you're going to be on the call for that one.
Boy, it's just a great several days here for baseball. We're playing the Drew Medford tournament, 2 games today, 2 tomorrow, 1 on Saturday. And then we launch right into district play. It's a great time of season for baseball lovers.
You've mentioned before, we'll mention it again, that March is your favorite month, and I can understand why. You've got tournament baseball that goes on as Cooper Mees leading things off with a 1-2 count here for the Broncos. And they'll chop that one foul, retrieved by Matthew Wynn. Arlington is at Haltom, and the Bowie Volunteers, another team that we cover, has their home opener against Grand Prairie with some very special people in attendance, so I'll be on the call for that. Both of those games will be on the Zap Network YouTube as strike 3 gets called at the plate. Prater catches the DH looking, and both of Prater's strikeouts have been at the expense of the designated hitter. Go figure.
Interesting trend. Again, as we mentioned, it seems like Prater is getting stronger as he goes. Gave up all his runs in those first 2 innings. In the last 2 innings, he blanked the Broncos.
RJ Hunt will take a look at ball 1. We've got the district opening series, Bowie versus Grand Prairie, Arlington versus Haltom. And then the following week, it's March Madness. That one gets fouled off. Spring break also happens in the month of March, and the Texas Rangers home opener is on March the 27th. So there's a lot of really great things that happen in the month of March. Anniversaries, birthdays. We're going to be celebrating the birthday boy on Saturday as long as weather conditions hold out. It's expected to be rainy on Saturday morning. Check swing. Hunt will take a look at ball number 2.
even if we don't get to play on Saturday, we'll still get 4 solid games in with the 2 that are going to be at the campus of the Cleburne High School tomorrow. Chipped into the glove on back-to-back strikeouts. R.J. Hunt is retired. It's 2 away and the 3rd K of the day for Prater.
Good curveball there. Caught the batter flat-footed as he weakly swung through that one. Wasn't expecting the curveball.
Alvarado held up his glove, signaling that he was able to maintain the catch after that contact. And there's nobody on for Braxton Cope, as he'll take a look at ball 1. The dribble's underneath the glove, but if there was ever a time for that to happen, it would be when the bases are empty and there's 2 outs.
Yep, nobody advancing. Brody Smith goes and picks it up. They're on deck batter.
Yeah, I'm particularly excited for March Madness in a couple of weeks. That's my favorite time of the year. You can have your Christmas and Thanksgivings. Opening weekend of March Madness is my favorite time of year.
We're going to have to pick a Cinderella team, as our Texas Longhorns are not likely to make the big dance this year.
You know, they got what they call a quad 1 victory on the road at Mississippi State the other day, and it's put them right back into the mix again.
3 passed balls here. Takes the count to 3-0. No, 2-1?
2-1. There was a foul in the middle of that.
Yeah.
So Texas could end up somewhere in the 10 to 11 seed range. Very low for a power school. Texas Tech is expected to go. North Texas has a chance at making the dance. There are a few teams from the Lone Star State.
Aggies got a signature win against Auburn the other night.
The number 1 team in the country. Their first ever basketball win against a number 1. 2-1 is now 2-2 after a good cut by Cope. Yeah, we'll be keeping our eye on those evening games on that Friday, the 21st, because March Madness will be happening while baseball is happening here on Zap. 2-2, swung on and swung through. London Prater strikes out the side in order. What a 1-2-3 recovery by Prater after giving up 3 in the first inning. He has a total of 4 Ks, 3 of them in this half frame. Can Arlington seize the momentum in the bottom half of this inning? We'll find out when we come back with High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Las albercas en Texas necesitan servicios durante todo el año. Romy Pools brinda servicios de calidad, incluyendo limpieza, mantenimiento y reparaciones. Llama al número 469-951-0107 para una consulta gratuita y pregunta por Roberto. Romy Pools, haremos que te enamores de tu alberca de nuevo.
John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
New pitcher on the mound during the break for Lake Belton, which is the sign of a change. The next time you need signs, banners, printed shirts, or other print materials, Ika Signs is the local printer to call. 817-617-2229 is the number, and tell them Zap sent you. It's a lefty on the mound for the Broncos here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Number 3, Eli Vaughn taking the mound for Lake Belton after Braxton Cope went 4 innings with just 1 run allowed on 4 hits. It's a pretty solid outing, but now we'll see if Arlington can do any damage against this Lake Belton bullpen.
And coming up to bat for the Colts is the top of the order. So they'll be throwing their 1, 2, 3 batters at the new pitcher to lead off this bottom of the 5th inning.
Some conversations taking place. Looks like possibly some substitutions. We'll try to keep you apprised.
Well, I see,
because we don't have a announcer for this ball game, so we just kind of have to eyeball it. That is still the correct infield, it looks like. It is. So if there were any changes, it would be in the outfield. 25 in left.
That's
that
correct.
is, no, 23 is in.
No, Rhodey Smith is 25.
Is he 25?
Yeah.
No, 25 is Jory Holland. 23 is Rhodey Smith. So 25.
Well, then they were ready to bat for him. He must have batted last inning, because 25 batted last inning.
25 is Jory Holland. So Holland with the neon green sleeve now in left field. First pitch is too high for a ball at the plate. Number 8 in center field.
That's right.
That is Bartz. As Bustamante dribbles this one up the first baseline, it'll be a race to first, and the pitcher will take it himself on a very unconventional one unassisted, but he was charging that direction anyway, and Bustamante is retired.
Bustamante just kind of cued that one off the end of his bat, and it just weakly dribbled out towards the pitcher's mound.
Holland and Vaughn look like the only defensive changes popped, as I have confirmed that Mikolas is in right field. So the only change is Smith now out of the game in left for Lake Belton. Bustamante down on the one unassisted, and it'll be Sam Harper, who has reached base safely in his previous 2 at-bats, both of them by non-base hit means, reaching on a base on balls and a hit by pitch. 0-1 at the plate to him. And he'll take a look at a ball low here. The next game against the host, Boswell, is scheduled for 6:30 p.m. We're approaching 5:30 here in North Fort Worth. And a called strike hits the outside corner. Arlington will play the Pioneers at 6:30. When we arrived here, it was these Lake Belton Broncos against the host Pioneers, so Boswell got a game off. Harper drop third strike. Ramos will fire it down to Ward. First strikeout for Vaughn. Coming in relief. First time that Harper is retired today. And there's 2 away now for Matthew Wynn.
Wynn had a long hit out to center field his last at bat that was hauled in by Bartz.
He was looking for a long hit there, just couldn't connect, nothing in 1. Off speed, finds the zone from that southpaw, nothing in 2. Low and inside, ball 1 to Matthew Wynn. No scoring has taken place since the bottom of the 2nd inning. It's been very defensive-minded since those first 2 innings. Just missed the outside corner. I was ready for that punch out. Does not happen, and Wynn lives to fight another pitch. Deuces are wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pitcher toned the rubber on the very far third base side of the rubber. And Matthew Wynn has worked the count back full. Eli Vaughn coming in relief of Braxton Cope. And he delivers a payoff pitch. That's going to be skied, headed for foul territory, and it'll bounce about 20 feet to our right behind the first base dugout.
Yeah, when it comes right down on top of our tent, we'll have to see if it bounces off or comes right down in our lap.
I hope I've got insurance for that. I guess I need to check with Chapman Cornelius.
For all the computer equipment?
Mm-hmm. Payoff pitch again. This one he squares up for, heads for right field, but it's going to be grabbed by the right fielder, Mikolas. Another F9 at Matthew Wynn's expense, making contact, but has not been able to get aboard yet. We're through 5 completed, still 4-1 in favor of the Broncos. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Hey Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com.
Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana, aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Welcome back here to Pioneer Field and on the campus of Boswell High School for the first game of the Drew Medford tournament for your Colts. Facing the Lake Belton Broncos, it's Lake Belton 4, Arlington 1, heading into the top of the 5th inning, top of the 6th inning, pardon me.
Top of the 6th.
Top of the 6th. Lake Belton will send up a runner a player that was substituted in the field, and it's his first time at bat. Jory Holland, number 25, leading off, playing left field. Cole Miklas, and then Brent Thomason, the 1-2-3 batters, the 7, 8, 9 hole hitters for the Lake Belton Broncos. So this is Jory's first at bat, Jory Holland's first at bat this afternoon. And London Prater will start his 6th inning of work, and the first pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1.
Good off-speed pitch. He came with a lot of force and then laid off at the very tail end of the pitch. Looked like could be a fastball, and he just slowed it down on his release.
The 0-1 delivery is looked at for strike 1 on that outside corner. Strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff batter, Jory Holland. Coach Peacock giving him some encouragement from third base coaching box. It's on hips, wondering why he's just standing there. The 0-2 pitch. Called. Strike 3. That's 4 strikeouts in a row.
4 in a row.
As London Prater just seems to be getting stronger as he goes.
And his placement has improved. He had a little trouble with hit by pitches, has not had that trouble since the first inning.
That'll bring up Cole Miklas, the right fielder, who's made a couple of good catches out there today. Fouls the first pitch over the third base dugout for the first count strike. 1 out in the inning, nobody on base. The 0-1 pitch in there for a called strike 2. Wow. No balls, 2 strikes as Prater works ahead of the batter here. Swung on and fouled over the third base side again.
Yeah, and Miklas was late on that swing, and I think he knows it too. He's just doing what he can to get any kind of contact so that he's not caught looking.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Ooh.
A little bit low for ball 1.
Just a little bit low. Not by much.
1 ball, 2 strikes to the number 8 hitter, Miklas. A walk and a fly to center field. That one floats outside for ball 2. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And again, not missing by much. It's a good eye by Miklas and better placement by Prater. A lot more borderline these pitches.
Swung on and hit out to shortstop. Mason Hensley right there gets the ball, throws it across to win, and the 6-3 out is the second out of the inning.
Yeah, and it breaks the strikeout streak, but if you're London Prater, you're just happy to have 2 up, 2 down after having a clean inning last one as well.
Yeah, we'll take that. Lake Belton has not scored since the second inning.
But neither has Arlington.
Well, but I'm praising Prater.
Yes.
For getting stronger.
Yes, good defense. The defensive adjustments and the strikeouts have definitely improved. He just needs some run support.
First pitch swinging, strike 1 from Thomason. Thomason got a sack bunt in his first at bat. Sack out. That ball's hit to Bustamante at third. He throws across to Wynn, who stretches and pulls it in for the third out for the 5-3 put out.
Back-to-back 1-2-3 half innings for the Colt defense. Time to put some runs on the board. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Lake Belton 4 and Arlington 1. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. Local Legends Figures immortalizes your athlete's achievements for a lifetime. Featuring 6-inch figures with poses in football, baseball, band, hockey, even lacrosse. Local Legends makes every effort to show their likeness down to every possible uniform detail. To
To order your custom figure, call 817-681-0319 or email orders@locallegendsfigures.com. This broadcast is the intellectual property of Zach Arnold Productions. Any use of their multimedia, including audio, video, images, and other content, may not be repurposed without prior express consent of Zach Arnold Productions. We thank you for your cooperation and for tuning in to tonight's broadcast.
Welcome back to Pioneer Baseball Stadium for the bottom of the 6th inning. Eli Vaughn on for his second inning of work for the Broncos, and your Colts will be sending the 4, 5, 6 batters to the plate. London Prater, the pitcher, who seems to be getting stronger as the game goes on, will be leading off. Mason Hensley, who made the last play of the last inning, will be batting second, and he's on deck. And Jeremiah Taylor batting third this inning for the Colts, the designated hitter. London Prater has a strikeout and a fly to center field to his credit so far this afternoon in his plate appearances. As the sun breaks through the clouds here in Boswell High School.
They're playing 100.3 Jack FM over the loudspeakers. They got good taste in music. Unfortunately, it's a commercial break for them.
Yeah.
So all we're hearing is about the local places to eat and the local attorneys and insurance companies and all that sort of thing. And I'm like, man, everybody just heard that during our commercial break. You don't need that again.
London Prater leading off. First pitch from Vaughn. Low and in the dirt for ball 1. Colts have had some runners on the bases this afternoon. They've had some runners in scoring position and just haven't connected on those clutch hits to get runs across the plate. Only 1 run so far. That scored way back in the 2nd inning. 1-0 pitch is swung on and hit to the right side. High in the air, Miklas floats back under the ball and makes the catch. The F9 is the first out of the inning.
Miklas earning his keep. I want to say that's the 3rd or 4th F9. I think there was one that ended up being an F8, but he was charging that direction. So he's been a part of the action at least 4 times today, which is probably a bit more than a right fielder expects to have.
That'll bring up Mason Hensley, who looks at the first pitch, a called strike 1. Hensley 2 for 2 this afternoon. 2 base hits and scored the lone run.
And his first time on the other side of the batter's box, as he's a switch hitter, moving to the left side of the box to face the lefty pitcher.
Second pitch from Eli Vaughn is another called strike. Quickly goes to 0-2 against Mason Hensley. The 0-2 pitch. Swung up at 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Hensley goes down looking.
Good placement as Vaughn hits the outside corner and gets his second strikeout in this relief appearance.
There's 2 outs in the inning now, and Jeremiah Taylor steps in. The designated hitter got a base hit and stranded at third in his first at bat and struck out his last time up. Swung on and hits this one to the right side. Everybody's charging to the right field line, and it drops in fair. No, they called it fair. He's going to second base. Taylor's still on his horse, running over to third. He's going to stand up with a triple with 2 outs in the inning. The field umpire went out there and waved his hands up like it was fair. And Jeremiah Taylor just kept on steaming.
That's great placement by JT and great wheels getting around the corner of the base on second and able to make it to third, standing up. We told you he's capable of it. His second triple of the season and a 2-for-3 day for JT.
That'll bring up the catcher, Axel Alvarado, trying to bring his counterpart catcher from third home here. But there are 2 outs in the inning. First pitch is swung on and hit towards second base. Bryce Davis makes the play over to first, and that ends and wastes Jeremiah Taylor's triple as the Colts go down.
And see, they keep putting people in scoring position, and then the Lake Belton defense does the rest. To the 7th inning we go. It's still 4-1. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Ika Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, Ika can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ikasigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's ikasigns.com/shop. Ika Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com.
Seventh inning, we get to play the full 7 as we get ready for some more high school baseball action here on the Zap Network. Zach Arnold, who the channel's namesake is after, is on the call today with my pops Doug. We'll have another game immediately after this, game 2 of the doubleheader against the host Boswell Pioneers, and then we'll have a couple more games in the middle of the day tomorrow. So if you can't make it out to the ballpark, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can get alerts for when we go live. And you can join us virtually from Cleburne High School for a couple of games against Richland and Mansfield Lake Ridge tomorrow at the home of the Yellow Jackets.
Hoping that the principal for Cleburne High will be at the game tomorrow, somewhere on the ball field. Ben Renner.
You just know everybody, don't you?
Friend of mine from, he was an AP at Summit High School when I was there. Just a big, jolly guy, great with the kids. I'm hoping I'll get to see him sometime tomorrow.
Top of the order for Lake Belton. And I believe this may be a new pitcher for Arlington. It is indeed.
Number 14.
So London Prater is done for the day, and this is number 14, Yadir Gamez, taking the mound.
Aside from those first 2 innings, Prater had a fantastic game.
I
Great
mean,
comeback.
He only gave up 4 hits.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it led to 4 runs, but he had 5 strikeouts as well.
Top of the order up here for Belton.
Lake Belton.
Lake Belton.
They get on to you if you don't put the lake in there.
David Sparks and Ward, 1, 2, 3.
Nothing in 2, or no, 1 and 1. I thought it was a strike on that first pitch, but I was looking down, so my vantage point was not the best. Number 14, Yadir Gamez, comes in for the final inning. Six complete, 5 hits and 4 runs with 5 K to end the line.
Nice off-speed pitch there. Had Davis off on his swing. It's our second time to see Gomez in action on the mound.
Righty can't quite find the zone there here in the top of the 7th inning. Fans, it'll be a brand new stream that we will have for game number 2, so be sure to keep up to date with the channel so that you can see the separate stream for the separate game against Boswell, set about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. This one's in the air, headed to left field. Charging is the left fielder, and Harper makes the grab out in left.
Great play by Harper. Had to get on his horse and run away from the infield. He was fully facing the left field fence at the 375 mark and hauled that one in over his shoulder for the first out. Great play by Sam Harper.
It was hit about 315, 320 feet. Not a whole lot of room left in that left center gap. But Harper was able to get it, and Gamez gets his first out as Cameron Bartz digs in. Got a single and a stolen base, an RBI, laid down a sacrifice, and most recently flew out to center field. He'll take a look at an inside belt high strike to bring the count to 1-1 with 1 out. In play, shallow left field, and it'll bloop in front of Gannon Howard for a weirdly placed single. But it is a single to center field for Cameron Bartz.
Yeah, that one was hit kind of in no man's land out there. It was a high arcing hit, but it dropped right in between Hensley, who was going out, and Howard, who was coming in. And Lake Belton has their first runner aboard here in the 7th inning.
Runner goes, and Alvarado will eat it.
Kind of lost the handle on it as he brought it up to throw it.
Bobbled the exchange, and that's another successful stolen base for the Broncos. I believe it's their 3rd or 4th of the ball game. Man in scoring position now with 1 out. Runner goes again. Alvarado with a bumper down to 3rd, and the tag is in time! The one hopper to Bustamante will leave the runner stranded as he heads back to the dugout. 2 away now for the Colt defense.
Scored that a 2-5 putout for the 2nd out of the inning.
Pitch at the plate is ball 3 to Caden Ward. Got a little too greedy there, did the Broncos.
Yeah.
And it'll be a 4-pitch walk to the first baseman. He will go to the base he plays defense at. Free pass issued by Gomez.
Got a timeout called by the field umpire.
That is the first baseman, so this will just be a
14.
pinch runner, not a courtesy runner, pinch runner. Got to get that terminology right. Number 14, Samuel Matous, M-A-T-O-U-S. Meese, the DH, takes a look at ball 1 here as Wynn covers Matous at first base.
Prater handled Meese pretty well today with 2 strikeouts in his 2 appearances. We'll see how Gomez fares.
Quick delivery. Bit of a weird sidearm of sorts.
It was almost a quick pitch. It's what it looked like.
I think Gomez might have thought a stolen base was going to be attempted. Alvarado keeps in front of this one as the sun shines directly into our face. At least we'll get our tan on a little bit today, Pops.
Yep, going to pull the brim of the hat down and make it do what it's supposed to do.
That's why we wear them. It's not just a fashion statement. 2 balls and a strike to the designated hitter. Runner goes. Ball at the plate, and he stumbles. Now it's a rundown. Hensley to win the tag, and it's in time! Some errant base running on the caught stealing, and then the rundown, and that'll provide the final out of the top of the 7th. It's rally time in North Fort Worth. It's 4-1. Can the designated home team mount a rally? We'll find out right after this. It's high school baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Rami Pools, LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Rami Pools, LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
To the bottom of the 7th inning we go. No runs have been scored since the 2nd inning when Arlington plated 1 and then left a couple stranded. And then it's been all goose eggs since the 3rd inning. 4 runs on 5 hits, 1 error for Lake Belton, 1 run on 5 hits, and 1 error for your Colts. Vaughn is coming back out for another inning of work, and we've got somebody from the dugout getting ready to take some pinch hit cuts for Arlington, Pops. Number 26, Noah Cifuentes, is going to try to lead things off as the sun comes out here in North Fort Worth.
You know,
Could it be the
thought
sign of something brighter for Arlington this half inning?
Really, I thought of Noah as I was driving in. I was coming up the highway, headed towards the ballpark, and I got stopped at a light right in front of a Panda Express.
Oh, there you go. His favorite food. He doesn't say
Not,
steak.
not favorite restaurant. His favorite food is
His
a
favorite-
whole restaurant.
His favorite food is the whole restaurant. We ask you, what's your favorite food? And some of them say, steak or my mom's cooking or something like that. No, his was Panda Express. Kind of looks like a panda there as he takes a look at ball number 1.
We like Noah. I like Noah's got a lot of gumption in him. He's a lot of really hustles every play.
The 1-0 from Vaughn makes it 1-1. One of the highlights that we called from the series against Rockwall Heath to start the season was Cifuentes scoring on a wild pitch. That was a fun one. Vaughn with the 1-1. Low and away for ball 2 to Cifuentes. 4-1 the score. 4-1 has been the score since the end of the second inning. Colts need a spark. And maybe it's Cifuentes drawing a walk as he gets into a hitter's count, 3-1 to lead off the bottom of the 7th.
It's nice to see. It was nice to see that Prater had the fortitude to push through that difficult first 2 innings and settle down and hold.
And Cifuentes was ready to trot down to first base, but he'll have to stick around for at least one more pitch. Called strike makes it a full count to the leadoff man here in the bottom of the 7th. Vaughn wants to reset the pitches. And the payoff. Hit right to the shortstop, who is shading more to the traditional shortstop position, and Cifuentes is down on the 6-3. Hunt was playing more to the traditional shortstop spot instead of up the middle. And Cifuentes is down. 1 away here. Hayden White takes a look at strike 1. Officially 0 for 1 on the day with a hit by pitch. Fans, a reminder to stay tuned for the post-game show presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll keep it here in-house because the sun is in our eyes right now. You won't be able to see us because of the glare. But we'll have a very brief conversation about the conclusion of this ball game, and then we'll have to sign off to get ready for Game 2. Subscribe to the channel so you get alerts for when the game against Boswell goes live. Should be approximately a half an hour after the conclusion of this ball game. 1-1 to Hayden White. Low and away for 2-1-1.
Always a frantic transition between a doubleheader like this. Trying to get all the score sheets done.
But we make it work. We have a system, and we have a 3-person team here with Mom Pat, the producer. Swing and a miss, 2-2 now. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And a swing and a miss. The tag will be applied. And Hayden White is retired. 3rd strikeout for Vaughn in his relief outing. And it'll be up to Danny Bustamante to represent the Arlington Colts bats for this ball game anyways. First pitch is away for ball number 1. Off speed, cannot find the zone, and it's 2-0 now to Bustamante. Bustamante with a single to left and then has been 0 for 2 since then. We'll take a look at a strike in at the knees on that away part of the strike zone. He'll put this one in play, and that one's in for a base hit to left field. So a 2 for 4 afternoon for Danny Bustamante with a couple of singles. And it'll be up to Sam Harper to try to extend this ball game. One man on, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Next game, 30 minutes away. Vaughn's pitch is away for ball number 1.
Tim Harper's had a walk, a hit by a pitch, and a strikeout in his 3 appearances this afternoon. Good to see him connect here as we transition to the next ball game.
Take a look at a strike here. 1-1 with 2 outs. Ward covering the first base bag. Pitcher looking at him as Harper cuts and can't connect. Colts are down to their final strike of the ball game. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a man aboard. Vaughn looking to preserve all of those goose eggs on the outside scoreboard. Give Lake Belton the win. Next pitch is a bouncer that Harper lays off of. Good dig by Ramos. And the Deuces go wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Next pitch home. Oh, strike 3, and that's the ball game. Vaughn comes in and does his job and takes care of business against the Arlington lineup. And that will be the final score in this one. Lake Belton 4, Arlington 1, the final here in this one at Pioneer Park. We'll keep it with the overhead view for just a moment or two. Since the sun is directly in our face, you probably won't be able to see us very well, but Zach Arnold started this game. Pops slid in the first inning after arriving. And Pops, it's been a similar situation for Arlington this season. Feast or famine when it comes to the offense. They got 1 run that was unearned off of an error. And aside from that, they were hitting into double plays and then striking out when men were aboard. But we've seen this team score 6 in an inning before, seen them score 8 in an inning before, just weren't able to do it today.
Right, they got some runners on base, got them in position to score in the first 3 innings, and then it was drought city for the rest of the game after that as the pitchers for Lake Belton really bared down, as did Prater. If you're looking for, a silver lining in this one, Prater gave up some runs early, and then he settled in and pitched 4 good innings after that and really shut down the Broncos. And so, and the defense was good for the Colts. Gannon Howard made some good plays out there. Sam Harper made a good play. And so, great running away from the field play. And so it was just a unfortunate circumstance that this was one of those games where they just couldn't connect in clutch situations today.
Well, that's why you play the game. You give yourself opportunities, and that is just what they did. And they have an opportunity to right the ship in this next ball game as we have a quick turnaround, and we'll be switching dugouts since we're currently occupying Boswell's position. But as we make that switch and as we get ready for the next game, we want to remind you all that the post-game show and a lot of other things about this broadcast are presented by John Wade Roofing. John Sr. played for Arlington High and was the team MVP in '76, and he also played for TCU and UTA football, earning all conference and conference champion honors. After a stint with the Houston Oilers, he started roofing in 1982 and never looked back. His legacy on the gridiron is now matched by the legacy that the company has built in the community for over 40 years. Next time you have roofing needs, gutters, painting, solar, or more, call the family that does more at 817-265-5520. Pops, any final thoughts before we sign off for this ball game and get ready for game number 2?
Now, you mentioned early in the game that this was a quality opponent, that Lake Belton has 1 loss to their record so far this year and 8 wins, and that they're really top ranked in their district and in their region. And we're fixing to head into another ball game with a top ranked team against Boswell. And this is how you build character. You get the reps against the good team. You may not necessarily want to score 20 runs against a cream puff team. You want a little adversity as you get ready for district action, and you're gonna run into some buzzsaws like they did this afternoon, and we'll see how they bounce back character-wise in this game against Boswell.
Final score again in this one, Lake Belton 4, Arlington 1. The Colts have another game in about a half an hour. 6:30 is the scheduled first pitch, and we'll have all the action here on the Zap Network. For producer Pat and for my pops, Doug, I'm Zach Arnold. Thanking you for tuning in to this broadcast. We'll see you in about a half hour for the 15th ranked team in the state facing your Arlington Colts. Until then, thank you for supporting local business and local broadcasts by tuning into this ballgame. We'll